Call the meeting to order. Paul, will you lead us in the pledge?
Would you like me to do it?
Sure. We're all going to join in. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank everybody for coming this evening. We've been advised Chairman Camp is not going to be available this evening. Okay, so we'll go from there. We'll go in order. Paul, you needed to want to address us?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I'm here to talk about my son Cole, who's 15, he's 16 in December. I guess I'd like to give you a little history. I'm here to talk about whether or not it would be possible for the tuition that is paid to GWRSD School District to be redirected. I'd like to give you a little background on that. 2 years ago, our family went through quite an ordeal. My wife abruptly left. Cole was 12.
We are taped, okay,
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
And he didn't fare well with the whole thing. Within about 8 months, he had committed his first offense. He was on probation. He's been on probation for 2 years. In the spring of 2011, he spent about a month and a half up at Eckerd in Stewartstown. And he came back last summer, thought he was doing fairly well, but in the fall, things started to fall apart again. And throughout the fall, it got worse. It got to the point where he committed an offense against me. I, as a father, actually filed a complaint against my own son. And in January, we went to court for probably, I would say it was 22 times with him. And he was placed down at the Malley Farm in Somersworth, where he spent 4 months. He went to Somersworth High while he was down there. It was rough at the beginning, but things turned around for him. He connected with a couple of teachers down there. He did well just in that, environment. It was more of an urban environment than the setting up here. And so I want to keep him on the right track. I'm afraid if we send him back to Governor Wentworth, he's going to fall right back in with the same friends and the same ruts, and we will probably end up where we started. So I guess I'm here to ask, is that possible? And if so, what's the process? I've already addressed the Somersworth School District. They've accepted him as a student. The request is the matter of tuition.
Have you spoken to the Governor Wentworth School District?
I have, briefly.
Okay.
And they gave me a little guidance, and that's why I'm here to speak to you, to see, what's the next step.
Well, Mike, so we've gone through this once before with someone, and the Governor Wentworth School District has the ability to make that exception to do that. As a town, and we're considered his legal residence here?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't bother me where you go, personally, but, it's setting a precedent.
I think we have to try to work real hard with the school district first.
I have no problem writing a letter to them and supporting your
I've
decision.
already written a letter.
It sounds like you weren't making a lot of progress.
Well, I basically said, they said, well, that's not just the way it works, and the money doesn't follow the child. I know it's been done. My oldest son actually did it.
That's correct.
So I know it's been done. We're not asking for any transportation or anything. Whatever we send over there, and if there's a difference, I'm more than willing to pick it up.
And have you talked to any of your local school board members?
No.
Member? Yeah.
I have not.
That would be a real good first step. What grade's he in?
He will be a sophomore.
Okay.
I personally think it's just having been in a public school system in the middle school and knowing these types of things that happen, I think the school district itself would be doing itself a disservice if, for him as well as for us, if he's in a situation where they're able to meet his needs, and under the circumstances that you mentioned that you would pay if there was any difference, transportation he would take care of. You would think it would be in their interest as well to see that he goes there. But they also, I can understand, once they set a rule, they have to go, I would assume, case by case.
I think that's the case by case
Situation.
is important, yeah.
But I would think, I have no problem, just from my background in being a principal, and then a special ed teacher, having been all things, all different levels, I can very much support you in your efforts. Now, the ramifications down the line, I have no idea.
Well, that was my next question. What would you like us to do?
I don't know. I mean, my question is, who has the last say? I mean, it's our town's money. You know, our children can either go to Spalding or there. So I don't see that we have I don't know, am I wrong? Do we have a contract with Governor Wentworth that says we have to go there?
It's the only place that goes Governor Wentworth. We don't go to Spalding.
We don't go to Spalding at all.
Well, that's Wakefield. Now, they may, if there's some, occasionally they'll send somebody to somewhere if there's some unique program that they don't have, but I think they pretty much cover everything up here. They may be an exception. Pardon?
I know one child that's going there now that lives in Brookfield.
Okay, there could be an exception they make,
Yeah.
and you know they hold this close to the vest, and this is the information you can provide us later.
Yeah.
I have no problem going talking to the superintendent. I would suggest first that you meet with your school board member, get them on board, because that's where the pressure is, the school board member. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. Brown, who would have been a wonderful advocate. We have.
But he still might be a good resource to make a phone call to see how to proceed, to get, because if there is a process or whatever taking place or has taken place, I think Mr. Brown would know how to follow that process and make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And who's our school board member? He lives up the road.
Dr. Manning.
Dr. Manning.
Okay.
He lives in Brookfield on top of the hill.
But who has the last say where the money goes, I guess? That's the question.
I believe it's the school. I'll have to check, but my understanding it will be the school district.
Okay.
And I
But we
think
could write letters, we could make phone calls, we can help, but I think you got to take the first step and talk to Dr. Manning.
And then there may be issues where you could appeal a decision they made. There may be certain things that I would not, after you've spoken to the state, then I think I would, if you don't get any, I think the state, I'm sorry, with the school district, if you don't get anywhere there or feel any satisfaction, I would contact the state school board. State, I'm sorry, what do you want to call it?
Board of Education.
Board of Education, yeah, at the state level, to get some suggestions from them on what should happen. You may also want to get an advocate to help you in this. And the squeaky wheel syndrome does work.
Yeah, it can't be a unique case. This is not new ground, right?
Right. And it's, you know, obviously, I don't think they're losing anything in the deal.
Well, common sense would say, if I was them, I'd say, all right, we had a lot of trouble with this child. We're more than happy to let him go down there.
And if they didn't have trouble, if they did not have trouble and just some parent wanted their child to go to this school or that school, I could totally understand where they would object, because then why have a school district you're a member of? But I do know that there are circumstances where a certain number they can allow or pay for to go to different places.
Okay.
And I would suggest you might try Mr. Brown to, as a former school board member, to get some ideas. I think it would be very helpful to you and tell you the suggestions.
And I suspect you can get some letters from some of the areas that are supporting your son, that this would be good for him.
It would be good for all parties.
And the State Department of Ed may also, if you get nowhere, may tell you, well, there are some things to consider. I know the time clock's ticking for the opening of school is right around the corner.
Right.
So keep us posted as to what's happening, what we need to do.
As a board, would you support this, and would you write a letter?
I personally, just because of my experiences and all that, I don't have a problem supporting this under the circumstances.
I think I would support that.
Yeah, as presented, it makes common sense. Unless they can guarantee you that they can provide the program, it's like a no-brainer to me that they would want to send him there.
Right. And I know people, they do this for athletic reasons. This is not for that.
Right.
This is simply to try to keep him on the right track and hopefully keep him out of trouble. So there's no guarantees. I don't know where it's going to go, but
If you could just jot us down a note and just send us a note as to the sequence of events of what has happened when you was at Governor Wentworth and how this all fell into place, that might help us in drafting a letter.
And if you need help before the next meeting, call one of us.
You're gonna need it before, you want to get this taken care of right away.
Right, it's almost August 1st.
Right.
So don't wait for 2 weeks to make a report to us. If you need some help, call one of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would see Manning, Dr. Manning, and I would see Ernie Brown, just for some guidance on where to go, to be a champion for your cause in front of the school board.
Okay.
And if Dr. Manning can champion this and in your behalf, that might help. And you might get some ideas also from Ernie Brown.
Thank you very much.
Understand your issues. Keep us posted, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Public comments. Hearing none. Approval of Selectmen's minutes from July 10th. I had my couple of things that I put in. But mine were nothing big, they were all small things.
Mine are taken care of.
Okay. I have a motion to accept as presented.
I'd make a motion to approve the selectmen's meetings from July 10th.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, move on to Treasurer's report. Madam Treasurer, well, I remember the new propane company wants proof that we own the tank.
Yes.
Do
I
you have
spoke
such?
with Mr. Road Agent, Mr. Nason, before the meeting. He says it was purchased from Eastern. I know it wasn't last year. I know it wasn't this year, so I'm going to go upstairs. My files for any other years would be here, so I'll go up and look after the meeting.
Okay.
I would think we have something, yes.
They're looking for, a paid bill would be sufficient. They came
Well,
to
that's
deliver
nice.
propane today, and they said, this is an Eastern tank. We don't have a proof of ownership. So that's what happened.
Okay.
So tacky.
I said, we have 50% full. We're not in a hurry. But that means the check cleared. We must be on their program.
We're making progress.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, we're making, because I haven't, it has not cleared, there's still a question?
No, no. So here's one for Jessica. So I did the...
We switched, for those who were not here, we have switched companies to a new provider, Weber, which is Dead River,
Yes.
and they gave us a very good price. And now we're trying to hold them to the price, and little things crop up, so.
I have given you the financial statements as of June 30th.
Okay.
So that will be everything we've done so far.
Would you like a chair?
Pardon
Do you
me?
want a chair?
No, I'm not going to stay that long.
Oh. Okay, first.
Here are bills. You don't have a fuel thing? No, you only did that once a
No, I
month.
did two, yeah, which once a month and both bills last two.
Okay. My favorite time of year because Diana has deposited money. We currently have $415,139.16 in savings and $38,289.87 in the checking account. So we'll be good till the first of the month when we need to pay the school district again.
Deduct one, your bill.
Okay. The propane tank I will look up after the meeting. I will file the payroll tax reports. They need to be mailed for this quarter by July 30th, and I'll make sure they're in the mail by that day, which would be next Tuesday. After our last meeting, the MS6, I phoned Jeannie Sams the next day. She still hadn't received it, so I faxed it down that day and have mailed another copy to her. So I'm believing this time she got it.
Well, we have here before us for Virginia to go to her workshop, but she also has a thing for her new deputy to go as well.
Yes.
And No problem.
For me?
I have a problem, nothing a problem with them going, because it's a very expensive proposition going to these workshops, so you read these things on TV where they're going out in all these places, but these things add up very quickly.
They're getting ridiculous, all of them,
And
I think.
it's, I don't know.
Or I should say that.
And I have nothing against people going, but these prices are just absolutely, how much was Virginia's for the 2 days? 360, what did I read? Versus on the
It's
bottom.
4 something,
I got it.
I thought.
It's very generous, I don't know. I gotta look at it.
It's at top page, is the hotel.
One single double occupancy for 109, and then 2 nights double occupancy for 228. So
And then there's the fee to go.
you know,
And where's it held?
red jacket. It doesn't. It says red jacket. It doesn't say the Best Western Red
I have no
Jacket.
reason to think that they couldn't try it personally when it was up, you know, up in the Balsams or something. That's one thing.
Won't be there again.
Selling their clothes or whatever it has.
Is that a convention or just a workshop
It's her convention, I think.
in the fall?
Yes,
October, yes.
yes.
Well, let's hold on to it till Mr. Camp comes and let him get his 2 cents in, so I will just be the bad guy.
Is she one of the state officers?
She's always had an extra day.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Okay.
It looks like we have until September to deal
Right,
with
and
that.
again, I don't have a problem to agreeing to the workshop. It's the, I probably can agree to the 2.
I guess it would be helpful if we could see the agenda. North Conway isn't that far.
So we're going to put that on hold.
I remember I also have a check, a welfare check on hold for $150. And I brought it tonight, but I didn't bring it up here.
I think I was at the meeting when Clifton said he's gonna get back to you on that.
Yep. Let me
He
see
didn't
what
get
this
back to you, that was,
Last meeting.
yes, let Bill see it, maybe he'll recognize it.
One for
No.
150?
It was the one for $150. And this one's for emergency housing.
Oh, I didn't see.
Oh, and that one's not signed.
There's another 150 in there, right?
And this doesn't say the dates, though. This is one concern I have too. And it's from when to when? Is this old or?
I have no idea. I just got it tonight in my box.
There is there's a letter to you in your box
Okay.
to address that. There's also another 150 you were holding, or did that go through? At the Heritage Committee, Clifton asked you to hold one of the checks.
Yes,
That
that
was
was the one. I only know of the 150.
And that
That's
was-
all I'm holding.
You're holding that check.
Yes. And I have it here, but I haven't mailed it.
Here's a check that we all signed, Bill.
Send Jessica the letter. Took a half an hour to send her the letter.
Evidently. Oh, and one of these was to, since Diane is here. This is from Avatar for your tax bills. I assume it's okay, but could you just look at it?
Sent, this is from Avatar,
Yeah.
drafted letter to homeowner for 2 hours. Sent to Jessica for half an hour. Okay. You're happy with quarterly?
Pardon me?
Quarterly, we've been paying.
Quarterly. Yes.
This was the software that she.
This was the
New
tax
update.
bills. So we could get that money in. And that's all I have, but I have a problem with this one.
Well, let's go back to this one.
Okay.
This is for a house that we had to do a pickup on.
Right.
How much is the bill for doing the pickup? I can't read their bill. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if that's the same letter.
They followed up with a letter to the homeowner.
Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, is that the same homeowner? I was thinking it had to do with another homeowner.
No, probably the same one.
2 hours to write it?
I don't know how to, I can't read that. See, that's my point.
Yes. So, 2, 3.5, 4. Yep, that isn't part of this. So when they build the when this has, oh, it does have a CA. So this is typically applied to the CA. What they do is they allow us so many hours per year that they bill us. And so all of this adds up in their minds to 0.5 of whatever, and of the units, and then this is our total to date. And we have about 10, as I recall, per year that were allotted on the contract.
A half a year?
10 units, and we've done half a year, and we're at 4.38.
We'll hold that one too.
I'm glad to talk to him. I don't understand it. I can really play it dumb.
You know what? I have an email from the woman a long time ago, because what gets real confusing is the year we do the
big one
reevaluation, then they're billing us 2 separate codes. But I do know that this one is the contract. So if we were able to pull the contract from them, it would say how many units we get per year, and it would probably be clearer.
And then their year is a calendar year, or is a
calendar year, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a calendar year.
It's really 2 hours to write a letter.
Or is that that applies 2 hours? 1.5, 2 hours.
So that would be the question to her.
Yes. Is it really 2 hours to write a form letter? I'll be glad to talk to him. I understand it.
Do you want me to try and find that old email where she explained to me the difference between the...
Because she's probably going to charge us hours to talk to them.
I don't mind
I
looking.
guess I should read the email then.
Okay, and then you can decide what you're going to do?
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll get that.
And that's...
For that.
Oh,
It should be with you.
sure.
I guess I'll wait for Jessica to get back also. All right, what else?
Well, I don't have any bills to pay.
Oh, this is...
That's the one for the forms themselves. Then the only other bit of news is I said at the last meeting I had not received back the forms from the state for the driving record for the 2 new employees. And that is because I need to have the forms redone. Evidently, I'm not allowed to be the everything for the town. So we'll fill the forms out tonight, and then next Monday, if you could come in and have Virginia do the notary.
Did you read it?
So.
That's tonight's check, but now there's another check that Clifton wanted to hold up for
The 150, I'm still holding.
This one, if this is for,
tonight.
I don't have a problem to get it. I personally do.
That's tonight's, and that's the letter documenting what's going on. There was another one for 150 that we approved.
Right.
And signed.
And there were some things on there that were...
It was to a grocery store in Massachusetts.
Rochester?
No, Massachusetts.
Oh, maybe that's the headquarters. That might be headquarters for that store. I don't know. But that was for necessities.
And some of the necessities are questioned.
Well, food stamps don't cover stuff. And they needed some stuff.
Right, I'm not questioning.
Well, the check, we're still holding the check.
The check we're still holding, I'm still holding.
And it's for 150?
Yeah,
Release it.
There you go.
We're going to release it.
all right. I'll put it in
Since
the
they
mail
didn't
tomorrow.
come with that information, let's, due to the circumstances, let's release it.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, and I gave you the letter from the state on our
Oh,
grants.
yes.
You might want to just tell everyone about that.
No, I don't.
They wrote us a nice letter.
So we received a letter from the Department of Transportation indicating that we're getting less money than they had approved for us earlier. So now the estimated total is $27,611.28. And you said it was about $1,000 less?
In the budget, it was $1,000 more.
Okay.
About.
So we'll say thank you for what we get.
Right. BSM. Okay.
Thank you.
Tax collector.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you just for a minute tonight on a subject. Involves tax collecting, however, more on a personal basis. There's an individual in town that I feel has been slandering me, my reputation, and also, of course, the town of Brookfield. And I have sort of reached the point where I've kind of had it. Between phone calls, yelling at me, telling me I don't know my job, and I do everything wrong. Between phone calls I've received from other people, including Jeb Bradley, our senator's office, wanting to know what was up. I think the latest thing that has brought it to a head with me is that there has been some slanderous things said about me to some of the clergy in town when this person approached them and wanted them to give a handout to them. And then somehow the subject got on the fact that the tax collector was responsible for pretty much all the problems in the universe, as well as the town of Brookfield. And I just feel that my husband has even been mentioned as being a culprit in this situation. And I really think that this is harassment at this point, and I'm almost to the point of seeking legal help to stop this from happening. And I know full well it is not just me. I know it is basically the whole governing body of this town. And I just feel as though there are laws that say individuals cannot harass the governing body. Well, we're not supposed to harass anyone. There's laws that say nobody harasses anyone. But I just wanted to tell you and make it a public record that I'm pretty much at my wit's end as to how much more I am going to absorb. I've been doing it now ever since this individual moved to town. And, you know, everybody has just thrown up their hands and all kinds of excuses as to why this individual acts in this manner. But I just feel personally that it's reached a point where I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to go out in public and have people say to me, "You wouldn't believe what was said about you." I'm sick of it. Basically, and I just really would like to let you guys know that I am thinking of doing something to try and stop. I don't know what can be done. I think my first stop will be to go down to the police station and ask them what their advice would be, and then take it from there. If I have to get legal assistance myself, I will do it.
I'll go first. I have my thoughts, but go ahead.
Well, I think we should contact maybe the police first, or